Hey, how's it going? It's Canis. And I made a video the other day talking about boycotting Nintendo and all that. And I will admit, when I'm wrong on some things, I am wrong. I do look at the comments and whatnot. Although it does take me a little bit of time for me to respond. But that's what I'm going to be doing now, is responding to some of your comments and also correcting the record on some things because, oh yeah, I need to correct the record. I may not want to spread misinformation, but of course, I am going to be leaving the video up. I usually don't like to take down my videos because, it's just one way of just seeing my mistakes and seeing how I could correct them. What I'm going to be doing is linking this video from previous video, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let me correct a couple things right now, but first I want to read your comments while I'm correcting some stuff. So when I was talking about this video, I was basically saying a lot about how games were overpriced, and if you're not happy with the price of the console for the Switch 2, if you're not happy for the game prices that are being put out there by Nintendo, like not every single game is going to be like $80. I did make a couple mistakes regarding prices of these games. So for example, I did say that Mario Kart World was going to be $90. Funny enough, I was literally thinking about like the Australian price, but again, that's not really an excuse. So in general, for us US consumers, us American consumers, the game is going to be $80. Mario Kart World Physical isn't $90. I was thinking about the Australian dollar, sorry, but I'm not Australian, so that's no excuse. Never was. Most Switch 2 cartridges will have the game on it. If it doesn't, it will specify game keycard. The upgrade packs are free with SWL, and for many games are free entirely. Of course, the prices aren't ideal, but I do think in a video like this, it is important to not give 100% wrong data, and otherwise clarify certain specifics, such as cartridges, only sometimes being game keys. Well, yeah, some cartridges are only going to be game keys, but not all of them. I don't really like that idea anyways, even though it seems like Nintendo is trying to be a little bit more convenient. I just rather prefer to have like a physical keep in mind, let me back up for a moment. I really do enjoy having digital copies. I've always enjoyed that, but over time, as I've been seeing the gaming market shift into more digital, I'm starting to want more physical. And the reason for that is because if you just have the physical game itself, and you could just play it even if like servers are offline and all that, like back in the old days, like for older consoles, you would just like pop a game in like a CD or something or a cartridge, and you'd have a game right there. You don't have to really be waiting for servers and stuff like that. And that's just a broad sense, a general sense of like the gaming market and the industry itself. Not really specifying Nintendo here because I don't think that's all they're entirely doing, but we do have seen in the past where if you have a digital copy, you best keep it, and they would be shutting down servers in the future or later, in a longer time frame. That's basically what happened during the Nintendo DS era. I am a little worried about that. So with the whole key card kind of thing, I just don't really like it all that much, but I do get it. It's a convenience thing. So this is coming straight from Nintendo about key cards. Nintendo Switch 2 game key card overview. Nintendo Switch 2 supports both regular game cards and game key cards. Game key cards are different from regular cards because they don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. Yeah, that's one thing I do not like because, like I said, I rather just have the actual full game. But I think part of the reason why they're doing this too is because games are becoming massive in terms of data. So therefore, maybe a full key card won't work. To put in, not a key card, maybe a full game cartridge won't work because you're cramming so much data in there, it's just not gonna fit. That's my only guess, but I don't know, I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit, so let me keep reading. After its download, you can play the game by inserting the game key card into your system and starting it up like a standard physical game card. So here's what the game key card packaging looks like. So it's literally just a bunch of plastic. It's literally just a bunch of plastic with a little bit of data on it, letting the servers of Nintendo know, oh, this guy purchased the game, you could download it. Yeah, I don't like that, like I said. But let's see. To download the game, an internet connection, and enough free space in your Nintendo Switch 2 system, memory, or micro SD express card are required. Yeah, I mean, if this is gonna be for like a bunch of indie games, I guess I get it, because you're gonna be working with a lot of cartridges. You can't really, it's not really possible, I think, to do that for every single cartridge that has game data in it. So like every indie developer is gonna have to like have their own cartridge like with data in it. That's probably not realistic. I could be wrong. So how it works, you just insert the game key card, and you download the game. The game itself isn't included in the game key card, which is not good. So you'll have to download it before you can play. When you insert the game key card, further instructions will be displayed on the home menu. Please follow the instructions to download the game. Please note, to download the game, you must have enough free space in your Nintendo Switch 2 system memory or micro SD express card. The amount of free space required is indicated on the game key card packaging. Step 3. Play the game. Once the game is downloaded, you're ready to play. An internet connection is only required when you launch the game for the first time. After this, the game can be started even without the internet connection. However, like regular physical software, the game keycard must be inserted into the system in order to play the game. Okay, that's really not bad at all. I kind of like that a lot, so it does sound a little bit more like it's convenience-based, but I still feel safer, if that makes any sense. It would still feel better if I actually had the full game itself, not to like have an activation to download the game. Like I said, I think the only reason Nintendo is doing this, and it's good that they're including the a label on the box too, to let others know, oh, this is what you're actually purchasing though. So that's not a bad consumer move. That's pretty good. Yeah, I much rather have a full-on physical game, but given the fact that they have history of taking down their servers in the past, I don't have a lot of trust in them. That's all. Overarching Moon. Dude, half your arguments are wrong or outdated. Storage is much better than the original Switch dock as a cooling fan. Any USB-C mic can be used with the Switch 2 and so on. I don't think I said anything about those things. I might have, but yeah, no, the Switch 2 is supposed to be a better system, but it's also just as gimmicky, and I feel like if you were to remove some of the gimmicks from the Switch 2, it would probably be cheaper, but then again, it's Nintendo we're talking about. Like, if you think about it, a lot of the original Switch's functionality in terms of what it could do was showcased on 1-2 Switch. How many people played that game? Quite a bit, but not as much as like Animal Crossing or Mario Kart, where you're simply just using the controllers to play the game. You're not using anything else, really. You know, not all the little gimmicks. Like, if they had Wii games on this thing, then sure, you could definitely use like Joy-Cons, you know, as like Wii remotes. So yeah, there are some moments, some uses for the Joy-Cons swinging it around, but yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just really my opinion at this point. Not really fact. I really don't get why people get so mad about the price. Games have been around $50 to $60 since the 90s. If the games turn out to be poorly made, then it would be fair to be mad, but as long as games are good, it should be able to cost a little more. Also, games that are like physical cards, but being digital game key downloads, are also available for the Switch, and it's normally something for third-party companies like Fortnite. It will also say on the box whether there's a key card or a physical game. Also, if you look at the Steam Deck, which is probably the biggest competition, it's $400 for the 256GB LCD version, but this one doesn't do 4K. It only has 60Hz refresh rate. The OLED version is 550, which is 512GB, but you're still not able to play in 4K, and that's 90Hz. I feel like the Switch 2 is in between those two versions, so it being 450 makes sense. Yeah, I see what you're saying based on your comment, and it's a pretty good one too. It's a pretty good argument. So I really can't object to that too much, because again, 450 is not a bad price But if it was 400, I would have been like, okay, perfect, solid. You know, I would have been much happier with that. And this is all really just down to personal preference, and of course, it seems like a lot of people are not happy with the price too, but we'll see, you know, maybe I could be entirely wrong and it's probably just all noise. But when it comes to the $50 and $60 games since the 90s, I would like to keep it that way, because the $70 to $80 games, and in some other countries, you know, it's gonna be 90, like Australia or Canada. Those are one of my bigger issues, because nowadays when it comes to gaming, it's not affordable to play AAA games. And these are games that a lot of us have grew up on. A lot of franchises that we have grown up on. Like Animal Crossing, Mario, Mario Kart, Donkey Kong, etc, etc. So I get it, not every game is going to be like $70, not every game is going to be $80, but Nintendo is setting this price point, and then sooner or later all prices are probably going to have an increase. While that is very much normal, that's a thing that does happen, a lot of people nowadays cannot afford games like that anymore. And somebody could say, oh yeah, well, too bad, you know? You gotta, you know, grind a little harder. But no, that's not really the thing. It's more like, you know, political climates and inflation. Wages have not kept up in production as well. So we're not really earning much. A lot of people, you know, who grew up on these franchises are now adults, right? So they have other things to worry about. Sometimes if you just want to like play a video game, you want to play like the new Mario Kart game, well, you can, because again, you have other obligations to worry about financially. So I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, we got comfortable at $60, so we kind of save up to that and we're okay sacrificing a little bit of our savings or, you know, our paycheck for a $60 game, opposed to getting like several indie games. But indie games are so amazing, by the way. Thank you, indie developers. I love you. Yeah, so where was I again? Oh yeah, people have become a lot more comfortable at paying $60 for these games. Now that the prices have gone up a little bit, it becomes like a huge wake-up call, and it's probably passing the threshold of what people could afford. So that's my take on it. Again, I could be wrong, but yeah, that's just my take. So once again, I'm gonna take another deeper look at this. This is again coming from Nintendo themselves, about the prices and, you know, whatnot. Nintendo maintains Nintendo Switch 2 pricing retail pre-orders to begin April 24th in the US. I remember they pushed it or something, but I don't know if that changed or whatnot. Retail pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 will begin on April 24, 2025 at launch. The price for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will remain as announced on April 2nd at $450. Still crazy to me. I'd rather take $400, thank you very much. Nintendo Switch 2 Plus Mario Kart World Bundle will remain as announced at $499, so $500. Which again, it's not a bad deal if you're just like looking at it on surface level. You know, looking at the game and the console itself separately. Yeah, it's not bad for what they're offering. Pricing for both physical and digital versions of Mario Kart World, which is $79.99, $80, still crazy to me. That's a $20 increase, bro. Oh my god. No. And Donkey Kong Bonanza, okay, which is $69, nice, will also remain unchanged at launch. $70, so that's still like a lot, but I guess. However, Nintendo Switch 2 accessories will experience price adjustments from those announced on April 2nd due to changes in market conditions. Other adjustments to the price of any Nintendo product are also possible in the future, depending on market conditions. So it seems like they're trying to set themselves up. If things don't go the way they want, they might lower the prices, or regarding tariffs, they might increase the prices. I don't know for sure, but we'll see what happens in the future. We apologize for any retail pre-order delay and hope this reduces some of the unnecessary uncertainty. our customers may be experiencing. We thank our customers for their patience, and we share their excitement to experience Nintendo Switch 2 starting June 5th, 2025. Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's really it. If you really feel like these prices are good enough, then sure, buy the console. But I'm sure most of you guys are not happy with this, or at least so I've heard, and I'm not happy with it either. Don't buy it. Just don't buy the console, and try to get it cheaper elsewhere if possible in the future. Or just don't buy it at all and hope to God that Nintendo lowers their prices. Because if you think about it, that's basically what happened with the 3DS, I believe. The 3DS was pretty high in price, and then after they made poor sales, they were pretty much forced to lower their prices, which they did. I think they lowered it to almost half, or if not half. And then all of a sudden, a lot of people were pretty excited for the 3DS. But again, the 3DS was cool, and its main gimmick was the 3D functionality, and that's back when 3D was like a hot topic, you know, in the market of consumerism. Yeah, I didn't really use the 3D function all that much. I just wanted to play the games. I didn't care about the camera or anything. I just cared about playing good games. That's all. Cared about playing great games. So yeah, that's it. That's my take. I hope I corrected everything. If there's some more things that needs to be corrected, write them down on the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, subscribe. It would help me a lot, you know, on my endeavor to being a content creator, reaching 1,000 subscribers. Be nice. Take care.